Hello. Right, today we have a 130XE motherboard which boots to a red screen. So without further ado and any further procrastination, let's try and figure out what's wrong with it. So here's the board, and here is what the video output looks like. Now I've already tried syscheck, which I've got two. What's in this box here? Oh. Two versions of syscheck, and syscheck doesn't even start up, which leads me to believe that there's possibly a short on the address lines, or the MMU's gone, because syscheck completely supplants the onboard memory of the machine. Could have a bad CPU, I suppose, but the operating system appears to attempt to start up. Maybe we've got a bad Freddy. GTI is already socketed. I've already tried swapping that out. That didn't make any difference. So, how do we tell if we've got bad RAM if we can't even get syscheck to work? Bearing in mind, I don't even have a scope. So, helpfully I can tell that a couple of RAM chips here. Careful with this desoldering iron because it's busy warming up. I don't want to burn myself. A few of these chips are getting warm. So what I will do, been powered on for a little while now, I've got this handy, we'll take this video connector out now because we know it doesn't work. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray alcohol on all the RAM so it's all nice and wet. And if you can see here, can you see the, pull that damn power cord up. Right, all the RAM is still wet aside from the bottom four chips. So it's definitely among these lower set of chips. It's these three here that seem to be evaporating most quickly. So I'm going to take that as an indication that all three of those RAM chips are definitely bad. So let's get rid of them. Stick some sockets on and see if we can't get some changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat this board because I find it makes it much easier to remove the chips. So we're removing two outbound and one inbound, one from the back. Right. Hopefully I'll be able to find some working RAM. Let's do a little bit of gentle heating. This isn't particularly going to soften the lead-free solder, but it is going to help avoid the board dissipating all of the heat from the desoldering iron. Right, apply some flux. So it's the two outbound, one inbound that we're particularly interested in. Front nicely. the one back from the front, one here. Okay, tractor fan on because this is going to make a lot of smoke. Move this around so it's a little bit easier for me. Just wiggle this tip around a little bit just to make sure it actually warms up the pin. But the combination of preheated board and flux, it really makes the solder fly out. I know Herb's Schlesinger uses the same tool as this. He was using it in his very nice video that he's just made. Dr. Venkman, his very nice new video about the work he's going to do on a 1200 XL. Very nice presentation, very much like the credits, the title at the beginning. But yes, this desoldering tool is, while it works, very, very good. Yeah, it's not temperature controlled, but hell, so was neither was the Antex iron I used for about 5 years or 6 years working on all this stuff, so you can get by without it, no doubt about that. The thing is, it's about feel. I don't adjust the temperature. I've got a temperature controlled iron now, but I never really changed the temperature. It's not a question of how hot the iron is so much as how long the iron is in contact with the board. It's just something you develop a feel for after a while. So the lack of temperature control is not necessarily a tremendous handicap. Because if you're gonna mangle traces and pull wires out the board, I think after a certain point, if you're still doing it, you're going to do it well, regardless of what equipment you're using. Which isn't to say you use cheap equipment, but the thing needs to be as good as it needs to be to finish the job. And particularly when working on old stuff like this, it's, as I say, it's a lot of it's down to just feel and knowing where the limit of robustness and tolerance is when it comes to applying heat on the board. I mean, I've managed to destroy traces in the early days using a 15-watt iron, you know, so there can't have been, it wasn't a question that it was too powerful. The reason that stuff got lifted was because I didn't know what I was doing and I held the iron on the board too long, overheated pins, overheated traces. That's why stuff gets damaged. Okay, 8 pins to go and then we're done. course, these are the notorious MTD RAMs. I should really replace the whole lot, but maybe the owner just wants the thing to work, whether or not he wants to pay for a complete replacement of all 16 RAM chips. We'll see. I guess it'll depend on how long it takes to get the thing working, if it can be resolved. So just flicking these legs just to make sure that they're released from the board. Seem to be. Wow, I've got cramp already. And if I show you this, you can see how it's brought pretty much all of the solder out of those holes. It's a very clean job, and I think we'll find that these things lever out quite without too much. Not that one, because I haven't desoldered it. There we go. One out. Another one out. And finally, oh, it's going to be difficult. Try the other end. There we go. And the third one out. So there we are. RAM out. And you can see, aside from a few little bits of solder blobs that have flew off the soldering iron, that is very clean. So let's get some cotton buds, clean it up, put some sockets in, put some RAM in, and see where we are after that. Obviously it's worth at this stage doing a quick visual inspection just to make sure that there is no damage to any traces, because it would be better to spot that before the socket goes on than afterwards. And no, everything looks to be in good condition. I think we'll do a little bit of wicking on the back just to get rid of the old crap. Put the iron on. Wish I had somewhere to put this thing that was doesn't come with a stand, so it's just sort of sitting there waiting to burn something. This board's a bit rusty. It would have been nice to see some obvious damage, but all of the corrosion is around the well, it's around the video circuit and the RF modulator, but I wouldn't expect that to generate the kind of issues that we're seeing at the moment, plus the fact that we've got 3 burning hot RAM chips anyway. So. Robert Jarman, who's the maker of the desoldering iron? It is made by a company called Duratool. In fact, I'll show you the label on the iron. This camera, because there we go. Is this the right way up? Oh, upside down. No, that was the right way up. There we are. Duratool. And well, it's a misnomer because the first one I had lasted 4 weeks and then it died. Just spontaneously died for no obvious reason. The element obviously gone, presumably. So they don't expect them to be durable, but while they work very well. So for about about a tenner, £10 in English money. Even if you get a few months out of the thing, it is very, very usable. Obviously, you can go out and spend 100 and odd quid on an electric servo-powered pump action desoldering gun, but and there are other people who advocate these things. Probably not as cheap as this one. There was one viewer who was a staunch advocate of good quality pumps and a soldering iron, and absolutely just deplored the thing I'm using here. But well, it works for me. I've worked on quite a few boards with this thing now, or the previous one, which is now dead, and had no problems whatsoever. Just a good success rate. And currently, this year, out of about, I haven't kept an accurate count, but out of about 10 dead machines, so that's a mixture of clients' machines and machines out of my own spares box, which I decided to try and revive, most of which have needed RAM replacement and that kind of thing. I think we're on a 90% success rate. The one that beat me was a Sicam 800XL, which just wouldn't work no matter what I did to it. Other than that, was yeah, 100% success rate. So okay, that looks reasonably good. Let's get some sockets. Atari Andre, good evening to you. Right, which sockets are we going to use? I'm running out of precision sockets, so we're going to have to this could be awkward. Even running out of machine sockets. So if we don't get this fixed with 3 sockets, let's get rid of this RAM. It's junk. That out of the way so I know to throw it away. If we don't get this fixed with 3 sockets, well, we're gonna have a delay while I buy supplies. I don't like these old sockets, but I certainly don't have enough turn sockets to socket the whole thing. So nasty tin plate sockets it is. And actually these sockets are fine for RAM chips, and they're actually a little bit easier to orient pins, especially if the RAMs are pulled from another machine, because they're not always perfectly straight, and can be a bit of a faff on getting the legs to line up in those precision sockets. So it's okay to use these ones. Just going to tack the corners. I'm not going to do a repeat of the other week. I have no confidence, by the way, that this will fix it. I have a feeling that there's more wrong with this board than bad RAM. And it may be... I don't know if I'll be able to fix this board. I use an original solder pult, but I also have the same tool as you, only use it for heavy stuff. I could never, I've only ever used the crappy little pump and this. And the difference between the two is it's like night and day. Night and day, as I've said before. To get these 3 RAM chips off with this, because you're constantly flipping the board to get the pump under the correct leg, then flip the board over, apply the heat, press the button, and repeat flipping the board and flipping the board all the time. And it's never as clean as it is with this, so you end up having to add solder to the legs that didn't want to come out, and there's always a stubborn leg that gets stuck and you're frightened to lift it until it's completely clear, and then you're wicking stuff. And I think to get these 3 RAM chips off with that technique, I'd have probably been looking at about anything up to half an hour. And I think these ones, I mean, how long have we been on air? I'm now putting the sockets in. It's only been 20 minutes, so it must have been 5 to 10 minutes to get all the chips off the board, which is, I mean, that's a bit more like it. That makes a board like this, completely unsocketed board. If I had to clear this board entirely and socket the whole thing, it could easily be done in an evening. No problem at all. No problem. Whereas it's not something I would even attempt without this tool. There probably are those who would and have, but I'm not one of them. I mean, don't get, I've used in the past, but when I didn't have this, I've used this to take off, you know, 5 40-pin chips off a board. It takes an awful long time. It takes me a long time. Fume extractor is kind of doing its job. Let's flip this board around. This works. Wow, it'll be a bittersweet experience because it's not a flat rate, so I wouldn't be able to charge much for it. Bit of fluff there. Cotton. But no, seriously, I hope it does work, but I very much doubt it will. That's better, a bit closer to the fan, so you can maybe see all the nasty crap getting sucked away into the fan. As far as the RAM I'm going to put in the thing, it's going to be a lucky dip now. It's all donor machines, mixture of donor machines and old video cards from old PCs and things. I know some of it doesn't work, so I should really inventory it. Okay, so 3 nasty little sockets there. Let's look for some RAM. Where did I put my RAM? Oh, this is the bag of dead ICs from the Arabic 65XEN, which I didn't film sadly, but that's how many chips had been blown up by a Commodore 64 power supply. I have no idea why I've still got those chips, because they're all dead. Right, this has got some RAM on it. Look at this stuff. Right, what have we got on here? 4256. So they are bigger than they need to be, aren't they? 4264. They are MTs. I don't really want to put MTs back in. I could try. Ugh. What's this stuff? This Hyundai or whatever the hell it is. Let's see if we've got 3 of these. Yeah, this is going to be a complete wipeout. The knowing my luck, the conclusion to this little video will be, oh, I need to give it to somebody with an oscilloscope. I've got to buy one. I'm trying to find one that's sufficiently cheap. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just an old analog scope would be fine. Okay. Oh, here we go. Ah, still dead. Right, and these are getting hot again. So, from what I learned in the previous machine, the reason that this RAM might be getting hot is not necessarily because it's bad RAM, but because Freddy is shorted out and the MMU could be dead. So we're going to take off Freddy. That's what I'm going to try next. Replace Freddy. This is the exact same sequence of events that happened with the Arabic machine. Replaced RAM, RAM was still hot, replaced Freddy, and replaced the MMU. The reason I need to replace the MMU is because the MMU had a hole in the top. Let's time this. Right, we've just passed 30 minutes, so see what time it is when this Freddy chip comes off the board. Or until this dies, whichever happens first. This pump dies, I'm going off air. Probably the recoil off the spring eventually kills the element or something. Spend a little longer on the thick 5-volt ground trace. Currently just over a minute and a half. Why can't people give me XLs, socketed XLs to fix? Here, 3 minutes to clear the pins. Okay. 3 minutes to clear the pins. Make sure they're all released. Right, all released. Ah, actually missed a pin. Missed a pin. Ah, it's off. There we go. Just over 4 minutes. Ah, 4 minutes to get Freddy off the board, and chip is still in peace. Sight to the chip. Why have I still got this preview open? The joy of the Tramiel 8-bits, yep. Nice job. Right, give it a little clean. Need to wick the back. If I can avoid wicking the back, I would avoid it, but might as well do it properly. All it takes is one little stray solder blob to turn the entire thing into a complete nightmare. low on 40-pin sockets as well now, since I had to use a stack of the damn things to fit that repeaters in the other machine. 4 stacked sockets. That's why I love 600XL, says Andre. Every single chip socketed, even the smallest one. Yeah. But sockets cost money. But at least these boards are reasonably sturdy. Hasn't just fallen apart in my hands. So that looks nice and clean. So have we got a machine socket? To oh no, of course we haven't. Yep, it's going to have to be a turn socket, which will look completely out of place with the rest of the board. But what can you do? Order some more of these as well. And I'll say now that I don't think this is going to fix it either. I think we'll go with this machine. I think we'll probably go to that's filthy. Probably be down to the CPU. Antic. God knows. Anyway, let's get this socket on. I hope I've got a spare Freddy that works. Because with them being don't often appear on XLs, probably going to be very short of them. I'll inspect all this soldering once the thing works properly, but I'm not going to make it a work of art when I know the thing might not be a fix. Probably end up wishing I'd filmed the Arabic XE, because that was a real success, but it was a lot of work. It was good when it worked. When it first powered on, it had no colour on the screen, and that was because the what's the name of the chip? No, don't get distracted. Finish this first. The IC that generates the PAL in the PAL colour burst circuit. That was dead. That one. 74LS74. Right. Have we got another Freddy? What's the part number for Freddy? NCR. Now the other Freddy that died was an NCR as well, and Jürgen tells me that this is the only CMOS chip on the entire board, and that they are easily killed. 61991. 6199. I've just got a feeling that I'm not going to have one. be a bit of a problem. I'll have to borrow one or procure one. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. I haven't got a spare. Shit. That's good. I'm gonna have to borrow one. From where? Aha. Where can I get a spare Freddy? Already socketed. Two. Oh. Let's see what we've got in the box. John, what is that tacky stuff you use to hold the socket in place? That looks handy. That's blue tack. That's this stuff here, blue tack. It's for sticking pictures and things on the wall, but it is handy. Hi Jason. Fook says don't half solder pokey again. Precisely, yes, I'm trying not to get distracted. Right, there's no Freddy on here. There's no Freddy on here. Obviously no Freddy on here, it's an XL. This is a weird board revision. That's an odd layout. Ah, it's the no PBI. Somebody's going to recognise this board. It's been in the space box for ages. I can't fix this either. But I don't count that among the tally because such a long time ago. It's heavily modified. It's got a 1 megabyte RAM upgrade, and there was other stuff soldered into it. OS ROM switcher and stuff, but dead. It's got a Freddy on it, but it's got the legs chopped off, so that's no good. No Freddy on here. That's annoying. That's an XE. It's socketed. Freddy's gone. New version of Where's Waldo? Find Freddy. Yes! That's exactly what it's like, and I don't think it's going to turn out well either. It's going to be a miserable failure. Right, there's not a single Freddy chip in this pile of donor boards whatsoever that's usable. So this repair just got a whole lot more expensive. Because I'm assuming Freddy's bad. But swap the CPU out and take the original one back. I can't even think of a machine that I own which has a socketed Freddy. Ugh. Okay. Put this block back. Oh. Right, plan B. Where do we look next? I've got some XEs in this box here. What's in here? Let's have a look at this box. Shit. Tape gun fell on the floor. Right, what's in here? Oh, crap. 5XE. As far as I know, works. 65XE. As far as I know, works. I've got a motherboard in here. Oh, what's this? 65XE. A shield on it. I suppose I could take this one off. This is mine, but we could borrow Freddy, I suppose. This is not the direction I'd wanted to take with this video, really, but never mind. Let's have a go. Get off crotch and belly cam and back onto the desk. The board. This looks like one of those boards that delaminates easily, but I have worked on it before. I've already put a socket on the CPU, so not quite as fragile as you might think. So I'm short of pokey chips and Freddy chips. Short of pokey chips and Freddy chips. Anyone out there with pokey chips and Freddy chips that they don't want? Please send to this address. I'm really bad at buying spares. I kind of begrudge spending 10 quid on an IC. Ugh. This is going to be a massive waste of time if this... we can be almost certain that it isn't Freddy. That's the problem. I could have tested that Freddy in another machine. If I had another machine that had a socketed Freddy, which I don't. I wouldn't care if this machine works as well. Sacrifice, the things you gotta do. If I end up giving this Freddy chip away, this board will never get fixed. It would be easier to just sell this motherboard. That kind of defeats the objective. I got the notification of the live video and thought it was my 130XE that was booting to a red screen. Freaked me out a bit since it was looking so good yesterday. Yeah, sorry about that. But I said in yesterday's video that I was going to tackle this one today, or in the next video. No, that repeaters machine works. Still works. I haven't done anything else to it. I'm gonna do the cable and things probably tomorrow. But yeah, it still works. This thing's gonna need cleaning out. Actually, I think dismantling this thing to clean it is the kiss of death. It probably dies shortly after the first time you take the thing apart to clean it out. We'll try and delay that as long as possible. It's spitting solder all over the desk. I think my hand is going to give out long before this tool does. Okay. I want to try and avoid bending any of these pins at all, because I hope to just drop this thing straight into the other machine. Another successful removal, no damage to the board, no damage to the chip. That back where it belongs. So I need to get some Ready chips. I need to get some sockets. Ugh, it's never ends. Straighten up these little pins a bit. I'm not going to wick anything at the moment. Any obvious gobs of solder I've got to come off just so I can get the thing in the socket. Okay, side's gone in, that side's gone in, and you all in? It looks like it. Oof. Right, then oh, god damn you. Does the RAM still get hot? Yes, it does. Huh. I wonder. Okay, so I can have my Freddy chip back. That was a complete waste of time. Put the original back in. I wonder if that bottom RAM chip needs to go. It's the original Freddy. Leave this on for a minute. Right, what else gets hot? You know those RAM chips get hot. That NEC RAM at the top left. It's not really hot. They are. Because I could have put more bad RAM in the machine. Never thought to check. Aye. Plug them in. Aha! What an idiot. Ah, what an idiot. Well, I'd say I'm officially stupid. Alright, turn this off now. Ugh. 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 Donate the man some parts. There's Fook. Error 143 at line 0 says bad OS. But it's fixed. It's fixed. The mistake here was to put bad RAM, to replace bad RAM with more bad RAM. And in the process, waste time desoldering 2 Freddy chips that had absolutely nothing wrong with them. But the important thing is that the machine now works. So it was bad RAM, so the spraying alcohol under the RAM thing did work. And now the owner has the added advantage of having a socketed Freddy, so the next time the machine blows up because it's got the wrong power supply plugged in, this is easily replaced. So I get to keep my Freddy, which is good. Check that this thing works with a cartridge, shall we? Yeah, that's green because it's a special test version of the Uno Kart menu. We should probably do a RAM test. Let's take the opportunity to use check. But yeah, bad OS was a good guess, because what I was starting to think the previous, what I was starting to think I was getting, this was like a carbon copy. It seemed like it was going to be a carbon copy of the Arabic 65XE they had in the other week, where basically I had the same thing. I had about three hot RAM chips, which I replaced. They were still hot, and these I didn't replace it with bad RAM that time. And as I said before, I went around the board, most likely things first. And once I noticed that the MMU had a burn hole in the top, that it did look like it was a power supply damage. And Jürgen TFHH, who invented the SysCheck board, later on told me, because I didn't know this, that the things like Freddy 74LS74 and a few other support chips, the way the power supply is laid out on the board, they were, if you plugged a 9-volt AC supply into the jack, they would get taken out pretty quickly. And of course, the Freddy being a CMOS component is particularly prone to damage from using the wrong power supply, so that it was a reasonable assumption that that could be what was wrong with it. But in this case, tonight, I simply happened to pick 3 bad RAM chips from the pile. It's just one of those things. You live and learn. What was I doing? Oh yes. Because I can't remember what the jumper settings are for SysCheck, but I want to do a RAM test on this thing. It should really be raised up, this board, a little bit. What can we put it on? Nope. Right. There we go. Right, let's hope that this works. So yeah, it was guaranteed bad RAM. Simple as that. So I wasted a socket on this board. Oh, posture. I'm testing the RAM under the operating system. Did I mention how great memory is good? So we've got, I mean, in an ideal world, we'd replace all the RAM on this machine. It's empty RAM. But my guess is that the owner will just want the machine back working without paying the money for a complete 16D RAMs and 16 sockets and all that kind of thing. This doesn't even come into it because that was just me going up a blind alley. So get rid of these notifications. So the I could kind of figure out which RAMs were bad just by using my finger, but the spraying the alcohol on is a good technique. It just it's a more accurate way of pinpointing which ones are bad. So rather than actually replacing all the RAM, we just ended up replacing the ones that were bad. So yeah, that was a 130XE with bad RAM. I've got to get the lighting sorted out in this room. What I'm hoping to get hold of is one of those umbrella lights that sits on a hole in the corner, because I'll show you what the miserable, dank, dark corner looks like. Go on the other camera. Turn that off. Corner. There's the camera to the left of the desk. A pair of step ladders in the corner. 2 old inkjet printers. A light up there, which is pretty much all that's illuminating my face. The Miranda tripod. What's that? A 1084S monitor. Philips CM8833 Mark II. I'll keep going around here. Dead monitors. ST is the 800. So I would like up in that corner, a decent light would be nice. Which will probably help no end. Because the quality of the cameras isn't too bad. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so 130XE, bad RAM, used what we started off by spraying alcohol onto the RAM, all of the RAM, while it was switched on and warmed up. These 3 RAM chips, the alcohol evaporated from them straight away, which removed all doubt that they were getting hot. They were in fact too hot to touch. I socketed them, put new RAM in. It still didn't work, so we went to the next logical step, was to assume that Freddy was dead. Freddy wasn't dead. I just put bad RAM from the parts box. When we switched to good RAM, it was fixed. So it was the RAM. So I hope that was illuminating. We haven't got any more chat to look at. Okay. So yeah, that's another one fixed to add to the tally. I hope you found this useful and interesting and liked it. Give it a thumbs up. And if you've got spare parts, Pokey, Freddy's, that kind of thing, this is the place to send them. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye for now.